Hey everybody, Fish Lotta here with Fishy Review. Today I've got a filter that I have not used before. I bought this myself. This is the Topfin Silent Stream PF20, only from PetSmart. This is a PetSmart brand, Topfin. Says it's for 10 to 20 gallon aquariums. I think I'll probably put it on a 10 gallon. I always overload my tanks, so I always want to stay on the low end of that range. Let's see what we got in the box here. Cardboard, extra cardboard. Here's the filter intake. Here's the whole filter itself. Here's the instructions. Get them out of here for now. A good product should be self-explanatory, right? Do I have to read the instructions? I probably will at some point. Get rid of that. Okay, now this is different looking. We've got everything kind of assembled out of the box. This is the kind of filter that has the pump inside the filter itself, which means outside the tank. So this filter does have to have water in it to start. These kind of filters usually struggle a little more after power outages and such, or if the filter's dirty and your power's been off, they tend not to restart as easily or might tell you need to clean it. But when the pump's inside the water, that can cause other problems, but it's also overall, I think I like those better. I'd say that's a little bit of a negative here, but keeps it simple. Some people prefer them this way. Keeps electricity directly out of the water, at least the cord out of the water. We don't know about the electricity. It could find a way. So inside we have a filter pad. It says it's these filters with the two sections on them like they have for PetSmart filters. This is the refill PFL. So this is their large size refill. It's a little bit smaller than, say, a Marineland large size, but I bet you could rinse this out several times before you had to replace it. I'm sure they recommend to replace it way more frequently than that because, you know, they got to sell these. But then we have this little thing here, which is for the good bacteria to grow on. And this would be the part that you would try not to clean unless it was super gunked up. Maybe you'd rinse it off real quick and then get it back in dechlorinated water. But it's got a lot of little like pegs on it here that this is a lot of surface area for the bacteria to grow. So this goes in there in front of the filter like that and would just slide in here. There's two slots actually. You can see the two slots. So the front one is where the blue thing goes. It'll be easier if I don't put them at the same time. And then this will go in the back like that. This mark front or back doesn't matter. These are the same on both sides. Just slide it down in the other slot there. Okay, this thing needs to be rinsed, got a lot of carbon on it. Has a flow control dial on it. It shows open or closed, so this way would be all the way open, and this way would be all the way closed. This part of the filter, what comes apart? That pops up like that. This looks almost like it would come apart, but that does not seem to budge right here. So short of me breaking it to find out, we're not going to do that. Inside we've got this little piece that would come off. Your impeller snaps into there. And down in here, probably hard to see, is the impeller. Hard to get my fingers in there and get it out. Okay, so down inside we have the impeller. And it's got a lot of back and forth play on it. Kind of nice, I think, if you want to go to clean it. That helps in a way. Looks like a normal size impeller for one of these with 3 fins. So whenever you do have any problems with these filters not starting, always get down in there and clean that little hole down in there and take this out, clean it really good, rinse it off, rinse that out of there if you can, and then put the impeller back. It's kind of hard because this is so deep. Let's get these out of the way. Nope, it dropped into the hole. Okay, now this looks tricky. This has to go in just right. Okay, so I would say you look in there, you look at this, you can kind of see where it goes. It's the best way I can describe it. Maybe the camera can see it, but we put it down in there. It hurt my fingers a little bit, but it snapped in easily enough once I had it close. Now, put this down in there like so. It's got this, this piece of plastic, this flat part that sticks out here, which goes into a slot right here. So make sure it goes right in that slot and snap that down in there. Also, the front of the filter has a minimum water level mark on it. So make sure the water in your tank doesn't drop below that. And you can see that's about probably where the bottom of the impeller is. So if it runs dry, it's going to burn it up. Might melt the filters, definitely going to damage it. Not good for it. Snap this on like that. This extends. Okay, so this is kind of like the Pro filter series. It has that same kind of a thing where you don't want to be in that last slot because it's kind of floppy like that. You want to be up a couple notches, but you can extend this or retract it depending on the depth of your tank. So that's nice. Simple filter. That's really all there is. Well, there's a leveling thing on the bottom. That's nice. You can turn this. What you want is you want this filter to sit on your tank. So here's your tank here. It's going to flow into your tank. You want it, you don't want it like this, right? You don't want it tipped backwards relative to your tank, because if this starts to back up, where's the water going to go? It's going to go over the back of this and onto your floor. So you want it level, or maybe if you're not going to get it quite level, at least choose a little bit that way. So like a little bit that way, just so that when it does get backed up, the water just goes back in your tank, right? So, because I know what's going to happen. You're going to get busy. You're not going to clean this filter often enough. At least once in your fish keeping time, that's going to happen, right? Maybe you're more studious than that, but so that's it, okay? Now, this also on the lid has that another one of these little float mechanisms like they have on the Pro filter. It's just a little air bubble thingy. Okay, so that when the water starts to back up in the filter, it's gonna back up and it's gonna make this float. It's gonna turn from red to blue. You can see that there, red to blue. And then that's just so you can look at it from here while the lid's on it and see, oh, it's time for me to rinse off this filter pad. It's probably all gunked up, right? Rinse it off or replace it. I'm sure you can buy a nice box of replacements over at PetSmart. So that is that. We'll put that on here. Oh, gotta put this in here, right? Well, I'm gonna go rinse this off anyway. So, but that would go in there. Goes in the back, blue thing in the front, this guy on the top, and that is all there is to this filter. So I will take this and put it on a tank, and we'll see how much flow we get out of it. I've got this on this 10-gallon tank. You can see I've been setting up some new 10-gallon tanks on top of this rack here. They are in here long ways, which is probably not how you have your aquariums at home for most of you, but for me, this is what I'm doing, and that's where this filter does fit on the back. I'll show you all the junk in the garage. So this guy will fit back there, and the water level is kind of low right now. I wouldn't normally keep it this low, but it is above that minimum water level line. So after I start this, I'll fill it up. I don't want to fill it up right now because I wanted to see how this stuff on the bottom goes. What I did on this new tank was I put a brand new sponge filter in it, and I took an old sponge filter and just squeezed it out in here so that it would go through there and, you know, kind of fast cycle the tank. So let's do this. I'll reach down here, turn on. I've got a switch rigged up. First power. It's going to probably struggle a little more because the tank's low, but it sounds good. I pre-filled the filter with water. Here it comes. I can hear it getting ready to go. Come on. With this water level so low, I'm asking a lot of it. I really am. Okay, I do not recommend running this filter with the water that low. It did not like it. So I have filled the tank up a little better. I'm going to set this light out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to put the light on top of it so it doesn't block the view. So let's, once again, start the filter. Let's get zoomed out a little bit. Ow. There we go. There goes the filter. Has quite a bit of flow. I turned off the sponge so we could see underneath the water a little bit. You can see it's just agitating the surface quite nicely in this tank, which is good. That's what you want. You want, especially if you don't have an air stone in the tank, you need good surface agitation to keep the oxygen in the water, so it'll help with that. Let's put the light back. Light is back. And you can see there's a lot, stirred up all the junk in here for sure. You can see the water being agitated on top. It's flowing across the tank nicely. It's going to work out real well for this tank. It's quite a bit of flow. It's going to be good for my application. So I like that. And I have to get that sponge turned back on, but we will see how this does. This should clear up the water in no time. Nice and clear. Filter's running. See those ripples? Got the air back on, but you can clearly see that it's working good. And this guy He looks pretty happy. Getting hot in the fish room, folks. Woo! Too many lights, not enough air conditioning because it's turned off, because it's noisy. So that's what I can tell you right now about this filter. Looks like a good little filter. I mean, a filter is a filter, right? But it does seem suitable for the 10 to 20 gallons like they say. Of course, for me, I'll keep it on the low side. And, you know, after a while here, when it's good and dirty, I'll give you a follow-up video and we'll go through the cleaning of it and let you know how it's been doing in the meantime. So, also, if you notice in that video, there was a heater in that tank. So if you're interested in that heater, you want to know more about it, make sure to check out the video. It's going to pop up wherever those things pop up. And remember, everybody, keep it fishy and have fun. Thanks.